Sorry for the late pivot, everybody, but we're doing a different topic on the show based on the new ESPN ranking that just came out on Quinnen Williams. He's rising on up, and we're going to react to it. Let's roll.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field Gosh Darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rodgers is joining the show. What's up, Connor?
But Trevor Gosh Darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever done.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Hey, what's poppin', everybody? Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. Sorry for being a few minutes late, but I was holding out because Jeremy Fowler of ESPN over the next bunch of days is going to be releasing his rankings and results from a bunch of the polls he did with scouts and league executives and coaches and all that jazz to determine who are the top 10 at all the key positions in the NFL. And yesterday released the Breece Hall list, which I do want to get to at some point. But, that gets released in the morning, and that was after our show. So then by all the time the next day, it would have been a little old. So I said, let me get on top of another one, which I know defensive tackles was going to be today. And I'm like, I got a pretty good feeling a Jet might be on that list. And I kept waiting and waiting. I'm like, oh, well, I guess it's not going to drop before 7:30 in the morning, which is when we do our show. But at 7:28, it dropped on ESPN. I'm like, son of a, and I do a quick pivot, quick audible, whoop, 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 and jump right on the Quinnen Williams train, because this one to me is fascinating. And thank you guys for joining us. And thank you, quick, a little bow on this one as we move on. Thank you to everyone that's coming to Jets Patriots. We ended up getting over the 25 ticket mark right at the end of the show. A bunch of people surged in, and we got all the tickets purchased. So, yes, we got a full house for New York Jets, New England Patriots. Very much looking forward to it. Should be spectacular, and I can't wait. So those doors are now closed. If you want to join us, that is no longer possible for Jets Patriots tickets. But thank you guys for doing it. And over the coming weeks, we'll get some more tailgate promotion going on, but we'll put that aside for now and just worry about the football stuff. If you guys want to come to that, you guys can in due time. But like I said, Jeremy Fowler, I've got his direct link down below to the article ranking the top defensive tackles in the game of football. And this is a big list because Aaron Donald has retired, and he has been obviously the number one guy for a very long time and a Pro Football Hall of Famer. So how the list shook out was very interesting to me. So Jeremy Fowler already told us which days are going to be what position. So I said, what? He said defensive tackle today. I'm like, interesting. I wonder where Quinnen ranks. And I thought about it earlier today as I was because I hadn't seen the article until literally as it's breaking now. And I'll be honest, I'm like, I think they're going to put him at 2 behind Chris Jones. And that's exactly what happened. Chris Jones was the number one defensive tackle in these rankings by these league execs and everything else. And Chris Jones ended up being number one and the lowest ranking. So they poll about 80 people for each of these things. And again, it's coaches, it's scouts, it's league execs, it's everything. And if there's any tiebreakers, they call the people back and there's this whole tiebreaker process. So like Chris Jones was number 2 behind Aaron Donald. Now he surged to number 1. So it makes sense that all these guys are jumping. But Quinnen made a bigger jump last year in these rankings. He was number 4. Now he surges to number 2. One of those, of course, is Aaron Donald, but he even surged above that, which we'll get to here in a minute. But Chris Jones is a freak, and he deserves all the hoopla. And in a similar way, he earned a lot of the same disparity that Christian McCaffrey did. So we'll get to more about Breece Hall later in the week. Maybe we'll get to that one tomorrow or a different day this week. But Christian McCaffrey earned over 80% of the first place votes in the poll. And obviously with that, he was the number one running back by far. Chris Jones, according to Jeremy Fowler, earned nearly 80% of the first place votes that he said, quote unquote, he stole from Aaron Donald, which put him number one. But unlike Breece Hall, Quinnen Williams did earn first place votes as the best defensive tackle in the game, which you love to see, baby. And he had the highest ranking of number one, the lowest ranking. Everyone that they polled in the 80 plus people had Quinnen inside the top 10, but the lowest was 8th, which again, I don't understand who they're talking to, that someone could have possibly saw Quinnen Williams as the 8th best defensive tackle in football. But that's neither here nor there, because that could have just been one guy. But where he is placed is number 2 on this list. And here is what Jeremy Fowler had to say about him. The Jets' offensive woes can't mask Williams' impact. He was a force in 2023. Williams' 29 incompletions created by his pass rush ties him with Chris Jones for number 1 on the list. His 38% run-stop win rate was tied for second at the position, and his 29 pressures ranked 4th among interior rushers. Here's one of the quotes from an NFL scouting director, said, quote, really good first step, and his size and athleticism overwhelms guys, and he plays very hard, which is sometimes unique for guys at the position, doesn't really have any weakness. And he said Williams won a close battle for second, but he had more first and second place votes than any other player outside of Chris Jones on the list. So spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. And by the way, the other player that Quinnen Williams leapfrogged from the previous year was Jeffrey Simmons, who was higher than Quinnen Williams last year. He was ranked number 3. So I love Quinnen Williams getting his respect. And it's kind of funny that Quinnen Williams finally gets his respect when he didn't have the sack production. Like 2 years ago, after the crazy sack year, you would have thought, oh, people are going to overreact and push him up the board. But in a year where he didn't have the 12 sacks, okay, for old Quinnen Williams, then finally he gets his respect, which, like I said, was a little surprising on the surface. I thought if he was going to get the respect, it would have came after the crazy sack year, which, again, he had 2 years ago, which was 12, or where's the number? 12, yeah, he had 12 sacks. Not this past season, the season prior, and he only got 4th on the ranking. This past year, he only gets 5.5 sacks, and then booyah, he goes to number 2. And I think that goes to show you that sacks are incredibly important. I remember having this debate all the time with Leonard Williams people, and they said, oh, but the pressures, man, the pressures affects the this and the that. Come on, man. Sacks end the play. Sacks get the guy on the ground. So while pressures and all those things are important, I'm not going to say sacks are overrated or anything like that. Sacks are más importante, but I do love that when you looked at some of those advanced analytics for pressures and passes defensed and how he impacted the game, that he gets the love that he deserves. So with Aaron Donald, that chess piece off the board, Chris Jones has the crown for now. But I'm telling you, people, you start really digging in on this, and perhaps Quinnen is coming for that top spot on the chart. Quinnen, by the way, only 26 years of age, and I wanted to double check Chris Jones's age, and 30. So again, similar to the Breece Hall thing we didn't talk about yesterday because that wasn't our topic of conversation, but we'll talk about it as well. Christian McCaffrey 28, Breece Hall 23. There's a 5-year age gap. So like Breece Hall's on his ass to eventually be the number 1 guy. Same story here. Quinnen Williams, not as big of an age gap, but very close. He's on his patookie to possibly claim the number 1 crown. And Quinnen Williams is a beast, man. Absolutely a beast, and I can't believe I can believe that he's getting this respect. The thing I can't believe is 8th. I still don't know how in God's green earth did someone put him at 8th, but that is neither here nor there. That's for sure. All right, let me read some of your guys' comments here immediately off the bat here. Yeah, Clancy, a bunch of you guys remember the Boy Green Coffee Club. 8th, LOL. Yeah, I don't know, like Breece Hall, how do you not have him at all in your top 10? Like unranked, not honorable mention, nothing. That's what some people had for Breece Hall on the list. And that's just stupid, man. I don't understand how you get there. Like Breece Hall to me is number 2. But even if you didn't get number 2, not in the top 10, what the, huh? Who? What? Huh? Again, I don't know who the hell they're polling. They say it's coaches, league exec scouts. Like what, for the New England Patriots or something? What other reason would that be? Again, I just don't understand. So there has to be some level of bias there. Dakota J says, the Jets motivator. Big Q, Chris Jones, Dexter Lawrence doesn't get any better in the league than those 3. Yeah, let me see. Who was 3rd? Yeah, Dexter Lawrence was 3rd on the list. And he made a massive jump last year. Well, I guess it wasn't as massive. It was 6. His lowest ranking also, someone had him as the 8th best defensive tackle in the league. He's pretty good. Here's the rest of the top 10. I guess we could just go through it. So Chris Jones, number 1 with the Chiefs. Let me put you aside for a second. Chris Jones, number 1 with the Chiefs. Quinnen Williams, number 2 with the New York Jets. Dexter Lawrence, the 2nd. New York Giants, number 3. Jeffrey Simmons of the Tennessee Titans is 4. Justin Madubuike of the Baltimore Ravens is number 5. Christian Wilkins, who's now of the Las Vegas Raiders, previously of the Miami Dolphins, is number 6 on the list. Derek Brown of the Carolina Panthers, he's number 7. DeVorest Buckner, number 8, Indianapolis Colts. Kenny Clark, old reliable, number 9 of the Green Bay Packers. And number 10, Javon Hargrave of the San Francisco 49ers, and he got a bag. Again, $84 million last offseason. Then there's a bunch of honorable mentions like Vita Vea with the Bucks, Jonathan Allen with the Commanders, Jalen Carter with the Eagles, Daron Payne with the Commanders, Cameron Hayward, Steelers, Christian Barmore, the Patriots. And also receiving votes includes Eric Armstead, who's on the Jaguars now, Zach Seiler, the Dolphins guy, Ed Oliver, Leonard Williams, Grady Jarrett, and Dramont Jones are all the other guys getting spots on the list. But I think the real conversation for best DT is between Chris and Quinnen, and obviously Dexter Lawrence has an opportunity too to be in that conversation. That's probably your conversation right there, I would say, of the 3. Is they have legitimate cases to be in that conversation, with Simmons just on the outside. I think those 3, I think that's the conversation here. And we talked about it on a prior show, it might have been over the weekend, that the Jets defense has been top 5 in 2 straight years. And then it's hard to remain in an elite ranking of that magnitude for multiple years in a row. Again, I think the last time we had the 3 top 5 in a row was Rex Ryan for 2009, 10, and 11. And then prior to that, it had been way like modern era stuff all the way to the beginning. So it's very difficult. But if it were to, like, if the Jets were not to get to top 5, why would that have happened? And they talked about that on the Media Kime show featuring Lenny with Taylor Kyles. And Taylor said, Quinnen Williams getting hurt. And I agree, because, again, the other guys in that room of Javon Kinlaw, Solomon Thomas, go through the list of guys, Michael Clemens, who could play some inside, like all of the list of dudes that are in that conversation. They don't have anywhere near the same chutzpah that Quinnen Williams has. And if they were forced to be relied on as the superstars, the main characters in the movie, I'm like, as a side piece to Quinnen Williams, sure, with how much attention he commands. And the rest of the line of Hassan Reddick, Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald's of the world, and those guys filtering in, maybe they could get favorable matchups in those mano-a-mano situations. But yeah. So it's good to see we have 2 lists so far in 2 days, Breece Hall and Quinnen Williams, and the Jets have a representative at number 2 overall at their position on the list. That just speaks to the greatness of the Jets roster. There's just no doubt about it. And let me see, what's the schedule here? Let me just take a quick peek at what's coming the next couple of days here. We have edge rushers tomorrow. Hassan Reddick, I would imagine, would be on that list. Safeties, we're not going to have anybody. That's the next day. Tight ends, I don't know if we'll have anybody. Maybe Conklin. Interior offensive linemen, probably not. Offensive tackles, Tyron Smith will be on that list. Quarterbacks, we'll see how Aaron Rodgers fares on that. And then off-ball linebackers on July 16th. Wide receivers will be interesting, and cornerbacks. So maybe we'll get some Sauce Garrett action on the back end here in like 10 days. And then Quincy Williams is going to be up there too. So I'm excited. We're actually, with this theme in mind, I'm going to be back on live with Woody at 3 o'clock. And we're going to talk about the top 5 Jets who can finish inside their own top 5s at their position. So kind of predicting the Jeremy Fowler list a little bit, and also at the end of the year, factoring in this upcoming season. So it'll be a fun one. We'll be back live again at 3 o'clock right here on youtube.com/boygreen25. Thank you very much. So appreciate you. Yeah, Q is the anchor of our team. And a lot of people said he had a down year last year. They don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, but I heard a lot of people complaining now. Double teams and triple teams can't claw Q down. Yes, that's a good point, William. Another member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. Appreciate you. Daniel Murphy asked, Chris Jones, Dexter Lawrence, Wilkins, Simmons, maybe Vita Vea, the two Eagles D2s. Who else could be ahead of him for him to be 8th? Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. They don't show that level of detail. Just the people that make it inside the top 10, they say, here was the highest they were ranked, which Quinnen, some people had Quinnen as the best defensive tackle in football. That does not surprise me. And here's the lowest. Some of the 80 people had them ranked in 8th was on that list. Yeah, he is. There's a lot of talent. And she's like, what? No Kinlaw? No, not yet. Not yet. But hey, playing next to Quinnen may raise his profile. It's on a 1-year deal. He's got all the motivation in the world, man. He's got all the motivation in the world. Let me go through some more comments here. Then we'll open up the phone lines here. But yeah, Quinnen, I think that's proper placement for Quinnen. Like I said, I think Dexter Lawrence is right on his ass. And I think while the votes don't say that the gap is close between Chris Jones and Quinnen Williams, I think it's very close. I think it's very close. Chris Jones has more of the sack production, which I think attracts a lot of people, naturally so. He has, what's the stat? They actually had it in his little ranking here. Jones leads all defensive tackles with 35 sacks in the last 3 years. I mean, that's pretty damn good. That's basically 12 sacks a year for Chris Jones's average over the last 3 years. Yeah, that's pretty good. So he's number one by those rankings. So you gotta give him his proper love. All right, let me pull it up. And like I said, sorry guys for the pivot. I know I originally was going to do the Breece Hall episode today, but I said, oh, if I could get an opportunity to be the first whack at Quinnen Williams this morning, I would love to do it. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So phenomenal. So the Breece Hall episode will be tomorrow, pending something changing. Like I said, pending something changing, we'll see what happens. But that is currently the schedule is Breece Hall. Will be tomorrow. The edge rush is also tomorrow, but we'll probably go Breece and then we'll catch back up later because we have safeties on July 11th. So there'll be plenty of time to come back to that list as well. And let's give a shout out. Oh, I love when we get to do this, baby. We've got, before I get to any of that jazz, let's do this. A weird thing when you press it for the first time. Let me do, oh yeah, it's not as loud. Okay, let me fix that. Here we go. Proper. One more time, it paused. Oh. There we go. Let's give a major shout out to Jared B for gifting a membership to the Boy Green Coffee Club, baby. Spectacular. Absolutely spectacular here on the show. So our new member, let me scroll down here, is Matthias. You were gifted a membership from Jared, baby. I love it. You love to see it. So one more time. Welcome to the Boy Green Coffee Club, everybody, and specifically to Matthias. For $2.99 a month, you could be a part of the Boy Green Coffee Club, which just, for me, personally, it turns the entire chat green, because your names go from whatever your normal color is, which is just like a black writing, to green lighting. It pops. And, of course, on the Boy Green New York Jets channel, it's spectacular. So shout out to Matthias for joining the army, baby, and thank you to Jared B for gifting that out. So you can either buy it for yourself, which we saw yesterday for a couple of people, or you can gift it to others. So yeah, let's pay it forward, baby. Absolutely love it. Thank you, Jared, who's our moderator, for our comments. Keep the gifts coming, as William says. Damn straight. Everybody get in on the action, and we will definitely play those chimes, baby. Love it. So same here. Let's turn that. Let's paint. Let's get our paintbrushes out and let's paint the chat green. Let's Da Vinci this, or Mozart. No, Mozart was a pianist. Anywho, but let's just try to paint some green, baby. That's it as well. And Clancy, you're right. That's the next thing. We got to get Boy Green some personal emojis for his channel. So I will look into that and see what we could do. And see, I know Snowball makes some for Jake Asman's channels. So yeah, I will definitely try to make some of these emojis. That'll be it. Good call, Clancy. We'll be all over that, baby, and we'll make that happen. Paint the chat green and get some emojis going for you guys. I think that's an excellent and wonderful addition. I would love to see it. Okay, I put in the video link for you guys to join the show. Let's get this party rolling here in the middle of July, baby. And again, 2 weeks from today, players report for training camp. And that's all the players, because the rookies show up a few days earlier, but the veterans and the rest of the players will join the crew 2 weeks from today. So, folks, we're closing in on it. We're closing in on some football, some positions, everything of that nature. We are closing in on that action, which is going to be, like I said, incredibly exciting. It's going to be awesome, and I can't wait for it. So while these conversations are fun and talk about position rankings and weird Cromartie Revis's beefs that don't seem to make any sense, eventually the content will speak for itself. We'll have to choose what not to talk about because there's going to be an overflowing amount of it with the press conferences and the players and the action on the football field, which quite frankly, I could speak for all of us. We're all looking forward to. That's really what we all want. And I'm excited for a lot of it. Clancy said it right there. So excited for the O-line. I was reading a piece from Rich Cimini. It was his lead column this morning. I read that before the show and talking about Tyron Smith's impact and the rest of this offensive line and really the risks the Jets are making on the offense in general, but all over the place. So it's spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. So I'm excited for the offensive line this year, too. I think it's great. And I think they're in a great position that if anything happens, they've got good guys at nearly every spot. I'm a little worried about center, but you know what? Hopefully Wes Schweitzer can be a little bit better this year if he has to step in. But you got to feel good about left tackle. And Morgan Moses, we'll see on him. I don't know on Carter Warren. We've seen some pops in the past, but kind of where he stands, I don't know. We'll kind of see. But yeah, there's a lot of positions you really like. You like the depth, you like the star power, and this unit has a chance to be pretty special. Pretty special. Ace of Spade jumps in to say, sacks can be misleading sometimes. Guys benefit because another guy is doubled. That's also true. And that's also why Quinnen is so impactful. He holds up a lot of guys and opens up opportunities for others, especially if you think about the linebackers' penetration. Quincy Williams, with what Quinnen, his older brother, can do there, or younger brother, rather, what they can do when you get some of this action going, that's really where things can maybe pop. Yeah, Team Crow. I'm seeing a lot of Team Crow people in here. Mr. Business, stand on it. Team Crow. I like Cromartie a lot. I think a lot of people were bashing him, saying Revis is the better player. Shut up, Crow. Like, whoa. Like, people are making it seem like Antonio Cromartie was some kind of scrub. Cromartie was awesome. One of the most athletically gifted corners, football players, quite frankly, we've ever seen in the league. I mean, an athletic specimen. If you could build a corner on a lab table, it would probably look like Antonio Cromartie. I mean, that guy is a freak. And Jared B on my Instagram, he sent me some stuff on Instagram, like a Cromartie highlight reel. And I got to go through it because I had not seen that Cromartie highlight reel. But I just love Cromartie. He had so many splash plays, pick sixes, and then obviously the stuff he did with the Chargers was awesome too. So, oh yeah. Yeah, I don't get the Revis pettiness, but again, and he doesn't call it pettiness. He calls it being older and not taking BS anymore as he continues to respond to people on social media. I'll just say if that's what made him special, then great. I know a lot of people are being rubbed the wrong way by Revis's stuff and making them feel differently about him. I have Revis jerseys in the closet. I got his Pro Bowl Revis, which is one of my favorite jerseys I have. It's great. Dakota asks, how much is a membership every month? It's $2.99 a month, but when you're gifted a membership, it's free for the first month, and then eventually you'll get an email that says, hey, you want to continue this thing? And you can. So it's a cup of coffee every month, if that's an easy way to put it. I heard Buffalo, a Jet fan, say that one time, and that's kind of true with our coffee club here. It's $2.99 a month. We'll get emojis going. I'll look into that. I've never had that before, but I will look into that as a new feature to get that included. But yeah, membership shout outs, again, painting the chat green. It's awesome. Let's keep going here on comments here. Yeah, you bet. Yeah, you bet, Dakota. Yeah, so it's really cool. So $2.99 a month, nothing crazy. And yeah, it's great. It helps keep the show alive. So yeah, without you guys, the show's not possible. But with that, it helps keep the show alive. So I appreciate it. So thank you, Jared B, for the membership gift. Very nice. So guys, keep paying it forward. I love it. And Uncle Tio joining us here on the chat. The 411 always. Jeremy, a cup of coffee, just not at Starbucks. Right, yeah, $2.99. Yeah, I might have to increase to a Starbucks package. If we get other levels to the YouTube, I guess I'll have to rate it based on other coffees, like a venti or something. Again, I don't know coffee terms. I should probably know them better as a morning guy, but it's neither here nor there. Snowball says, Paul, is Crow a coach for the Jets or learning how to be one? Well, this is... this is a part of the Bill Walsh internship, so it's allowing players to get another opportunity to get back into the league and be one. Now, I will just say this: Crow should probably not getting. Let me rephrase my words. Okay, whoop! I get paid to talk for a living. He probably shouldn't be getting into tiffs with other people on social media. He's got to be above that as a coach. And again, so he's got to show some maturity there. But I don't blame him for a lot of the stuff Revis was saying. It would have been very hard for me not to do that as well, to be honest with you. So he is. This is a internship, and it has the chance to turn into more. But play the chimes, baby. We've got another new member here on the show. Thanks to Uncle Tio for gifting us with a membership. And Taylor Sterling, welcome to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Taylor, paint the chat green. Gifting memberships. Uncle Tio is a family guy, and he's in a family mood. He is spreading the love across the world, baby. So Taylor Sterling, welcome to the Boy Green Coffee Club, baby. I love it. Our membership group is growing like nobody's business. And again, the message is hashtag pay it forward, baby. Let's keep it going. Darren says, Crow was amazing and made more sweet love than Paul. I think he has 10 little ones. Yeah, let me check that. How many kids does Antonio Cromartie have now? I think it's more than 10 off the top of my head, but I do not know. Let me see. Antonio Cromartie kids. How many? 14. Good Lord have mercy. Yeah, they have 14 children, apparently, according to Google. Wow. Yeah. It was his wife, Tarika Kaysen, I believe is her name. And here okay, let's do this. Apparently they have the names of all the kids on this website. Okay, let's give a shout out to all 14 children. See if we could get how many coffee club memberships do we need for Cromartie? It seems like maybe I should give him like a family rate or something for Pete's sake on all these. But here we go. So we got Antonio Cromartie. He's got 14 children. Okay. Let's see. Okay, where do we got children here? Okay, his wife have welcomed 14 children. Here are their names and ages of each child. Okay, he's got Alana, who was born in June of 2009. Okay, I thought this was going to be like a more succinct list. This is not at all. Okay, I guess Alana is the only one I could give a shout out to. He just has. They do not have that together. And by the way, poor Antonio Cromartie, he's never going to live that down because you have the Hard Knock scene where it seemed like he was struggling to name all of his children. Poor guy. That's messed up. But shout out to his 14 children, apparently. Good Lord have mercy. 2 touchdowns. Ace of Spade. Crow gave Revis a compliment. I don't know what a compliment is anymore. Same thing I said about the Klecko thing. I think I said this on someone else's show. It might have been Connor's or Jake Asman's or something. Like, when I clipped the thing for Joe Klecko that started, apparently, the Revis Klecko beef, I sent it out as a softball. Like, every once in a while, I'll see, like, oh, man, the Jets are awesome. Like, and it's just so everyone can say, yeah, the Jets are awesome. And us as Jet fans can kind of rally around it. And then sometimes I'll send something and I'm like, oh, this might be spicy. Like, people might react to this in very extreme ways. That was not one that I thought. So, yeah, Revis does not know how to take a compliment, basically, I guess is the way to say it. Uncle Tio says, wow, Wawa coffee for me is about $2.99 for a large. So there you go. All right, there's your large Wawa that you share with people. Beautiful. Excellent. Absolutely. Why is Revis so angry? I don't know. I feel like, again, that would be something that you could turn off. So if that's what motivated him during his career, any perceived slight or made up slight or anything, when people talked of him and about him, like, I get that during your career. You know, I don't get it because I'm not Darrelle Revis at a Pro Football Hall of Famer. I'm just some guy. But like, I understand if that's what motivated you. But, like, now that you're retired, you have a jacket, you are a first ballot Hall of Famer, there's nothing more to accomplish, like a Ring of Honor, all that jazz. Like, Revis is a legend. He's one of the best of all time. He would say the best of all time, and it's hard to disagree. But I don't understand why. To me, there's nothing to be angry about. Like, that's the ultimate Trump. If I get in a fight with Revis, I'm like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I'm a Hall of Famer. Shut up. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you are. Conversation over. So he is the ultimate trump card. So I don't really understand. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in his life or anything. And Taylor Sterling says, love being green and appreciate it. Yes, let's keep the green going, baby. This is a 1-month trial, and if you like the green, keep the green. You can wear it permanently. You'll get an email that says to continue the membership well beyond this. I love it. Yeah, apparently the over on that. Uncle Tio says, did we talk about JJ saying he wants to be an apex predator? Oh, yeah. He is going to have a great high double-digit sack season. I can feel it. Yeah, Jermaine Johnson was talking about with the local media that he wants to be an apex predator, and I love it. He's fired up, and this is the jump. So we saw the 2.5 sack his rookie year, didn't play a lot. Now he had the 7.5 sack last year. He's one of the true, kind of 66 or 65% playtime guys. So he plays a lot. And the next natural jump, of course, would be to that double-digit sack level. And I think he could get there because, again, the Jets should be playing with more leads. He's got talent beside him like Hassan Reddick and Quinnen Williams. So they can't all focus on him. So he should have those ops. I'd love to see it for the young man. And that would make it easier and more complicated in different ways because everyone becomes eligible from that 2022 class to get paid. So Jermaine, Brees, Garrett, Sauce. And if Jermaine has a crazy year, you're like, oh boy, we got to make some big boy decisions. If he has a whatever year, 4, 5, 6 sacks, and then some of the impressive stuff, it's hard to go to the negotiating table because I don't know what to pay Jermaine. Is he a top 10 guy? Is he a top 15 guy? For pass rushers, I don't know where to put him on the list if he has that kind of season. If he has a crazy double-digit sack season, arrows pointing up, and he's in his, mid to late 20s, you're like, ooh, okay, well, okay. Not late. He is, off the top of my head, he's 25 maybe. I don't think he's 26, but let me see. What is Jermaine Johnson? He is 25. He turns 26. By the time they'll be talking contract, he'll be 26. So, okay, that is what I thought for age. Not late 20s, but mid-20s. So we'll see. That'll make the conversation a lot more interesting. Mr. Business Crow and Fitzmagic family could have a cookout by themselves. Holy cow. Yeah, 14 is I thought it was more, but I wasn't exactly sure, but I heard about that. Yeah, Tanoy said the best part is that he had twins after a vasectomy. What a champ. Wow. 10% for the 10% discount for the Crow family. That seems only fair. That seems only fair. That's hilarious though. That is funny. Paul, you are the NYJ guy. That means more than just being a guy. Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, Revis is a little touchy, I guess. I don't know. That's too bad. Let's see. Let's keep rolling here. Oh, wow. We got another membership. Play the chimes, baby. Uncle Tio is in the giving mood, baby. Aaron, welcome to the Boy Green Coffee Club. A big fan of the show. One more time. And a guy who comments regularly, and now he will be in green, baby. We love it. Thank you, Uncle Tio, for the gifting of memberships. It's spectacular. Again, pay it forward, baby. Everyone getting involved in the fun. So, Darren, it's great to have you to the Boy Green Coffee Club. Hope you enjoy your stay. And it's beautiful. So wonderful. You love to see it, baby. I love it. Hyder jumping in here. Good morning, Vietnam. Good morning, Jets fam. Let's go. Jets, Jets. Love it, baby. Yes. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And also, everybody, the stream to call in, that line is now open. We'll be going for a bit here. I was late to the program because I had to do a late switch to Quinnen. My words today are all over the place. But but Darren, thank you, Tio. Yeah, he's the best in the business. Can't wait to meet Tio, too, at the old Jets-Patriots game. That's going to be so cool. Meeting Uncle Tio for the first time. And it's going to be, I feel like the scene will be from Tommy Boy, where it's like, brothers don't shake hands, brothers hug. And it's going to be one of those. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be spectacular. So it will be a lot of fun. Can't wait. It's right around the corner, everybody. Right around the gosh darn corner. Yes. So, yeah. But anywho, yeah, Revis being weird. So, again, he's still a legend. really nothing he does will change that. I mean, maybe a little bit in terms of reputation among the fan base, I guess. I saw a lot of Jet fans were tweeting at him like, Revis don't fight. And he was going after him saying like, you don't talk to me. Like, I don't have to listen to you, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's a lot of, if you go to Darrelle Revis replies on Twitter, yikes, he's going after some peeps and not very happy about that, it appears. So not great. Not great. But hey, whatever, man. I don't like seeing any of these guys fight. Like now, because Cromartie's getting a coaching opportunity. And then last year, the Hall of Fame, Jake said it great. I met Jake Asman and Matt O'Leary for the first time last August. And the Hall of Fame was supposed to be the kickoff celebration of what was supposed to be a special year with Rodgers and this team that we thought was going to be really good. And the Hall of Fame was supposed to be no tiffs, no issues, just love. Because if you really think about it, with everybody coming together, Joe Klecko going into the Hall, long overdue, obviously. Darrelle Revis going into the Hall. It just felt right. Absolutely right to do that. You know? But we have the hoopla, I guess. So you can't get away from it. I see Clancy coming in here. Boy Green, will you gift the memberships if I super chat it to you? I'm on an iPad and processor going into a website version. Signing in, gifting myself takes a hot minute. Sure, yeah. If you send the super chats, I will gift those out. Absolutely. Sure. Yeah. Yep. Send those in and I will do that. You bet, Clancy. And I will do that. I don't know how to do that live, but we will figure that out together of doing that out. Absolutely. I see Jake do it every once in a while where he just gifts a bunch of memberships to match if people give memberships. So sure. Yes, Clancy, you send that in. We will make that happen. Taylor says, this all making me remember the patch years for Revis, and now I don't want to wear his jersey. Again, a pride thing, perhaps. Yeah, I'm going to have to wait a hot second before I'm wearing that, kind of strutting around going, ooh, yeah, this is great. Same thing with like Jamal Adams. I can't wear that jersey. I have that in the closet. I can't wear that now, and maybe not at any point in the future because of what happened. So, yeah. And kind of what Snowball said, I wasn't going to say it, but yeah, Clancy Creature super chat by 30% because that is YouTube there. So to gift the membership out, I don't think I get a special deal. So YouTube takes 30% of your super chat. So that part I can't control, but I will try to do my best to help out in that range. Let me see. Darren says Revis was the best early in his career, but he was trash at last year. That's true. He kind of went out with a song. Not great. And then, Jared B., you have this to talk about. Whenever you have a chance, regard for the dream team, and we're done with the offense and on to the defense. So it's been a fun bit to do on the show. There's no doubt about it. Let me see real quick. Let me go. I'll go there in just a second, Jared. So hang on tight. We'll come back to that. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's continue the conga line for this individual on Boy Green Dailies and a card-carrying member, I love to say, of the Boy Green Coffee Club, FL Phil 98 here on the program. What's up, brother?
Good morning, Paul. I hope you don't mind if I try and change the subject a little bit.
Please do. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. After some of the conversation about the schedule, the Hop on Pop episode, we talked a little bit about and again, the guys out there, I'm sorry if it's 98 all the time, but I started looking back at that year because remember I said it was about halfway through the season that I started to feel like something special was happening. 97, they went 9-7. Parcells' first year, he had taken over a 1-15 disaster with Kotite. Bottom line is 98 was not a year that, at least my recollection, wasn't like this is a Super Bowl year, but it was definitely, can they be a playoff team? Can they contend? And I went back and looked at the schedule to remember some things. Guess what? First week at San Francisco was the first game.
Oh, Garrison Hurst, overtime. Oh, yes.
Right. And they lost in overtime, right?
Yeah.
Week 2, they lost again. Okay. They lost to Baltimore 24-10, week 2. So they started that year, which they finished 12-4, 0-2. Okay. And then they went to 2-3 because they lost week 5 to St. Louis. Now that's where, right. And they lost the 30-10. So at that point at 2-3, after getting your ass kicked by St. Louis, This was not a team that you were going, holy crap, this is it. But then they got on this roll. And from that point, they only lost one more game. All right.
Wow. That's pretty damn good, I'd say. Yeah.
Exactly. And the game that they lost after that was the Colts, week 11. So they were this close to an 11 game winning streak. They lost 24-23 in a game that they led 23-10. Okay. So, and the reason I'm going into all this detail is from that 2-3, other than a 1-point loss, they would have run the table. And I think that's really what I'm thinking about this year is as the season progresses, and we're going to have, I believe, in that first 5 or 6 weeks, I think we might stub our toe a couple of times. I really do. I think there's always that chance. You know, the letdown game, a team you should beat. You got New England at home, Denver and Minnesota. You know, are they going to stub their toe in one of those games? You know, are they going to lose to San Francisco week 1? You know, the bottom line is once the train is on the tracks and the engine is running, then we're going to know where we're at. And that's not going to be until the middle. And one other thing that I thought was crazy similarity is that that year they had a week 14 game against Seattle. This year it's week 13. But that was a game they won 32-31. And the closing, and it's a game they probably honestly should have lost. Was Testaverde was kind of got a break on a call at the goal line, where after looking at the replay, it was very questionable whether he actually got in. So that's a game they could have lost, to be perfectly honest. And they're playing Seattle first week of December this year. There's a lot of really crazy similarities. And that's why I wanted to jump on. I was looking at this and going, wow, there's really a lot here.
And 12 again, our only 12-win season was that 98-year. Boy, man, if we could get some of that love over here, the similarities, the connections, let's make as many of those as possible, because I'd love to go back to that period of time and to have that kind of success. It's just been so damn long, quite frankly, since we've had it. This is we're currently tied in this current drought. This is the longest drought the Jets have ever had of not being in the postseason. And the next closest one was that 70s run after the Namath stuff, where it was just a pit of nothingness. So we are back in those doldrums. So I think we need an injection of life here in 2024.
Well, I agree. And I think we all want to see that, and you anticipate it, and you want to make a case for it. And I guess that's what I keep coming back to is this is a show me year, I believe. And now, again, we've been through this over and over. The talent is unquestionable, and every team's got question marks. So this isn't about, what if this and what if that. It's just, we just got to see how this all comes together, and whether or not, to be honest, this coaching staff is good enough to bring it together. Okay. The Tyron Smith, that guy can bring an offensive line together all by himself, probably. Okay. Yeah. And if Tippmann is a good general of the offensive line, all that stuff, you still need coaching. And I really think that's what scares me is the coaching, not just Saleh, top to bottom on the offensive side. That scares the hell out of me. I think the offensive coaching just sucks.
I love the bluntness there, and I agree. It's because that's what I think what some Jet fans are doing that say publicly like it doesn't worry them is what they're trying to convince themselves in their head is it's Aaron Rodgers. It won't matter. He can do whatever he will paint over the problems, like any of the problems. We're just going to deny, not just a river in Egypt. We will do, well, you got Aaron Rodgers and everything else that'll paint over. But if we're all being honest, we're on the top of the mountain. And you ask me, I'm like, well, the coaching, I'm just not sure what's going to happen. And again, the thing that I keep hearkening back to is in these 4-12 and 7-10 years, they don't matter as much. But when you're in these years where you have a chance to win it all and playoffs and all this stuff, and you're in these 2-minute situations on a Sunday night football game, and the whole team looks at Saleh or the whole team looks at Hackett for what his call is going to be in this particular moment, there should be, if everything goes right, plenty of those kinds of moments, and it's going to fall on the coaching staff, which is a massive magnifying glass for those situational football. And boy, there's just a big look. Well, fingers crossed, baby. That's how we feel about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel about it as well. And one of the reasons that I kind of settled in that 10-11 win range is because of those things. And again, once we're in the middle of the season, we'll look at where we're at. These numbers are going to change as the season goes on. My guess is people may change their projections right before week 1. Does somebody get hurt? Does somebody get hurt in training camp, or does somebody look great in training camp? Do they? Does Hassan Reddick get signed? Does McCorley? What's his name? Corley get signed?
Yeah, sure.
There's questions here that by last week of preseason, we may have a very different view.
It's true. And again, fingers crossed, we've been very good. Again, last year, final play of OTAs was the final spring before we get to the training camp. Chuck Clark blows out his ACL on the final play of the final practice. If the Jets just cut it one play earlier, who knows how the whole thing changes. Does Tony Adams ever get his chance? Maybe not, because Chuck Clark and Jordan Whitehead would have been your starting safeties, and then we never hear about the Tony Adams thing that the team falls in love with. Does he even make the roster? Because with Chuck Clark going on IR, that opened up a roster spot and everything else. So there's a lot of questions and things of that nature that changed then and could change now, obviously, with the potential of the injury bug, which obviously none of us can control.
Absolutely. And on a closing note, I just want to say again, I really appreciate you, Paul, and I admire you a lot. Okay. I was a guy, there was a time in my life where I would have loved to have been a sportscaster. I think you can kind of tell that, like, I love this guy. Okay. And I never had the balls to go after. Maybe if a platform like this existed, I don't know, but I know what you do and how you've done it and how you built it. And it's been a long grind. You're positive every day. You're a happy guy. These are all amazing attributes. I can't say enough about it. It's why I joined. It's why I follow. And now that I'm retired, digging into this kind of stuff, this is fun. I am enjoying the hell out of this.
Well, I just want to say that I love that I know you said some people may throw whatever at you for digging in. To me, I hope you can live vicariously and do it yourself as you're coming on to do these bits as regular bits here on the show and tell me, hey, Paul, I noticed this trend, this game, this kind of looks like this. I'm hearing the sports cat. You're like living that out live right now and seizing it. You're just grabbing it and just giving us the chutzpah that is required for this. So yeah, please continue. Anything you discover or trends or interesting things that you see, I love it. This is an open forum, baby. Anyone is allowed to call into the show and share their thoughts and takes and things of that nature. And man, it intrigues me because now it makes me want to dive in. Okay, what more? Okay, he uncovered this, but what does this mean to this? And I'm all pointing all kinds of directions here. So yes, keep it coming, baby. I love it. It motivates me. When you're going to that level of digging, I'm like, did I do enough digging? Let me go get my shovel. There is more digging to be done. Yes.
Well, again, I appreciate it, Paul, and have a great day. And JETS, baby.
Yeah, that's right. Jets. We'll play that one first because I got to play a different chime here in a second. But can't wait to be hearing that live week 3. That's going to be pretty cool. But we got to do this several times because, he stepped up. He stepped up to the plate. A wonderful, wonderful gift from Clancy here on the channel. Let's go. There's one. Again, actually, I'll just loop this and it will just do it itself. So here we go. Yes, let's go, Clancy, baby. 5 gosh darn memberships handed out to the great people. Let me make sure I get my reading glasses on here, which are the same as my normal glasses. I don't know why I felt the need to say that differently. But anywho, here are our brand new members to the channel. Brandon L., you're on the channel. Dyke Tyson, the LT Rain Anderson, Tony S., and Sonny Crockett. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 new members of the Boy Green Coffee Club again. Brandon L., Dyke Tyson, LT Rain Anderson, or L Train Anderson, either way. Tony S. and Sonny Crockett. Paint the gosh darn chat green, baby. You love to friggin' see it. Excellent. And thank you so much, everybody, for all of those. That is beautiful. Clancy, you're the man, baby. Love it. And we got to get back to the phone lines here, too. But let me make sure I do this for Jared. He wanted top 3 all-time guards, and I'll just run through them real quick. For the Jets all-time, got to go. I'm going old school on most of these. Dave Herman, got to go with him. A Super Bowl champion. Our starting guard way back when, AFL champion, AFL All-Star multi-time, All-AFL, multiple-time All-Star too. That's one of our starting guards from the Super Bowl. And then I'll give you the other starting guard from the Super Bowl, baby. I'm going to butcher his name, but Randy Rasmussen, which I believe, there you go, the other starting guard for the Jets in that Super Bowl champion, AFL champion as well. He played 207 games and started 199 of them and spent his entire career with the Jets from 1967 through 1981. And Dave Herman, by the way, spending his entire career with the Jets, 1964 to 1973. Booyah! And then I'll give you a modern guy for all you modern fans. What about Alan frickin' Faneca, Pro Football Hall of Famer? He was only with the Jets from 2008 to 2009, but a Super Bowl champion, 6-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro, 9-time Pro Bowler, one of the best offensive linemen in NFL history. Spent a cup of coffee with the Jets, and to bring that modern, we can only hope that he has a impact that can be responding sort of in the same realm that Tyron Smith can be for the New York Jets this season. All right, let's hop on over to the phone lines, and we've got a special BMAC call. BMAC joins us here on the show. What's up, BMAC?
Hey, Paul Boy Green, it's me. I know I missed the last few days, but again, man, I'm not really much of a morning person, so I'm gonna try to, just bear with me in mornings if I can get to you, I would. And
I appreciate that.
But I just got I'm gonna give you a Rodgers question, so.
Okay, cool. I love Aaron Rodgers questions. Yes.
Yeah. So, now I know there's a lot of questions about him this year, which we all expected. His age, come off the injury.
Sure.
There's still a lot of doubters out there. Don't believe that he can do it. I mean, I just saw yesterday that that they was talking about if some network that if Rodgers still elite, and they think that it's going to be an uphill battle for him. If they didn't feel confident, they think that it sounded a lot of doubt. They think it's going to be an uphill battle for him with his age and and coming off the injury and what happened last year and all that stuff. And they bring up his last year in Green Bay, which if he has that for y'all this year, y'all would take that.
Damn straight we would. I will make that emphatically clear. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And y'all would be a playoff team. But a question about I don't know if I asked you about this before, but as far as his eliteness, do you think Aaron Rodgers is elite? And let's say if Aaron Rodgers has to be a game manager, do you think he can be a game manager with this team? Because me knowing Rodgers, me watching his tight career, and the Packers teams that they were dominant, and he was able to manage the game like 2019. Like look at his numbers, there wasn't Aaron Rodgers numbers, but the team went 13-3 and went to the championship game. That was the year before they took Joe Love. But story short, do you think Aaron Rodgers is still elite? And and do you think he can still be a game manager?
It's a good question. Excuse me. I'll answer the second part first. I think he has the ability to be a game manager if he wants to be. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot, never has throughout his entire career, although, to your point, the 2022 Packers season, he had a bunch of picks, 12, I think, which was the highest he's had in a very, very long time, and maybe ever. And so I think there's a lot of circumstances, and obviously you could speak to that, BMAC, as a Packers guy, with how that season sort of played out. But I think he is capable of being the game manager and riding on the talent. And quite frankly, maybe that's how the season starts with the Jets now. Like when he, kind of gets his feet wet and getting back into the game, which he hadn't played in a long time. It will basically be, 2+ years since he'd played legitimate football on a football field. That maybe he just says, you know what, let's lean on Breece Hall. Let's get the ball into my hands really quickly. Let's not, assess a bunch of stuff and create, long developing plays down the field and put me in more compromising situations. Maybe early in the season, it's a lot of ball control. It's a lot of run the football. It's quick screens, things of that nature. Get the ball out of his hands very quickly and be game manager. And as his confidence returns, which Aaron has admitted publicly in interviews, that the missing piece of the puzzle, and maybe he's already gotten it back during this time away, I don't know. But the missing piece, he said, before this big 40-day gap of time was, I need to get the confidence back in myself. So as reps happen, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I'm still Aaron Rodgers, baby. And he said he's gotten that a little bit, but like on a full level of being full Aaron Rodgers. That's the thing, coming back from an injury. When I tore my ACL, I'm nothing like Rodgers. But when I tore my ACL, it was believing that my leg could hold my weight because I was using crutches. And then there's a full leg cast and all this other stuff. And I had to trust that when I took a step, my leg would plant and things would happen. So going through my rehab process, that's the same sort of thing for Rodgers, of believing in your stuff. So that's a long story short of saying, yes, if he is to be a game manager, I believe he could do that. And maybe that's the proper call at the beginning of the season. And then the second half to that, is he still elite? Again, people are debating it. They don't know, because the 2022 season they bring up, which was a down year by Rodgers standards, then he was injured. Now he's older. You pair all that together. Do you believe? Me, personally, I'm a glass half full guy. I absolutely believe that Aaron Rodgers is on a mission from hell, and he is going to come and light mothers up. He is just going to be blowing past people and doing all kinds of things and showing everybody that I'm Aaron Rodgers. And why do I believe that? Multiple reasons. One, Rodgers has always said that if he doesn't believe he could be the best in the game, he's going to walk away. He said he doesn't want to just stick around and be an average quarterback and just hang around. And if Rodgers didn't believe he could come back from this Achilles, he wouldn't be here right now, and he'd be in Cabo or God knows wherever on other missions in his life if he wasn't doing it, in my opinion. So 100% I believe he's going to be elite. I think he's going to be a top 10 quarterback. And as we go through the season, maybe not top 10, maybe top 5, maybe top 7 is what we're talking about here. But yes, absolutely, I believe he could be elite. And if he has to be a game manager early, that's totally within his possibilities.
All right. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. And then the other thing is that
sure.
This might sound like a dumb question.
Okay. There's no dumb questions, but go ahead.
The chat might, might make fun of me. But
okay.
Whatever. Right. I've been made fun of my whole life. I don't care. Okay. Now, we all know what happened last year. Rodgers, 4 plays,
Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, I forgot about that until you just brought it up now. So thank you. Yes.
Yeah, no, I hated that too, man. I hated, me being a Rodgers fan. I watched that game and as soon as he stood up and went back down, I was like, oh no, this cannot be happening. This is me. But
hey, BMAC, my dad died when I was 5. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh, what?
No, I'm just kidding. That was an Adam Sandler line. But no, go ahead. Yeah, that's right.
Like I said, I mean, hopefully y'all will have some good fortune around this year for y'all. But but do you I know after that, a lot of the haters and trolls are kind of making that punchline. Oh, 4 plays. Oh, 4 plays later, 4 plays after.
Yeah.
Do you think now? I know there's a lot of people that's saying that him getting hurt was his fault because he didn't get the ball out quick. He had a wide open Garrett Wilson.
He did absolutely had a wide open Garrett Wilson. I still can't believe he didn't throw it. But yes, go ahead.
Yeah, it's something like that. And I guess maybe it was first game jitters. Maybe he was nervous.
Maybe.
Maybe he just got shaken up. I mean, he's not perfect. Great players make mistakes. Too. So, But do you think him getting hurt in the fourth play like makes him look bad or makes his career look bad?
No. He's a Pro Football Hall of Famer before he arrived here. He's going to be a Pro Football Hall of Famer if that was his entire career. Is there jokes? There is more, and Jake Hasman said this a million times. There's more jokes about Aaron Rodgers' Achilles and very serious injury than I've ever seen with anyone else's injury in any other sport ever. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's a New York thing. Maybe it's a Rodgers thing. Maybe it's a Hard Knocks Super Bowl, all that. And for that to happen, people are dunking on the Jets as an easy target. I don't know. But no, I don't think it makes him look bad, I guess, in those circumstances for the jokes and stuff. But overall, he was a Hall of Famer before. He's a Hall of Famer after. And he has a chance to rewrite his own story of he's a Hall of Famer, but he can rise to another level, of course, if he delivers a championship, these serious playoff runs to the Jets that can enhance his legacy even more. But I don't think it can necessarily destroy it or harm it. His legacy is cemented.
And if he comes back and wins a MVP and Super Bowl MVP, no one will forget about the 4 plays. People like that would be.
It won't matter, right? Yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Or if he comes back, or at least get you out to the playoffs, have above average season, get you out to the playoffs, and maybe get you out to the championship game. I'll come up short to the Chiefs. People will forget about that. But like you said, he's a Hall of Famer before. He's a Hall of Famer after. Or like I said, I mean, he could easily retire, and no one would blame him. Achilles.
I mean, we would blame him. We would be very angry if he retired. But yes, I get your point.
Yeah, I mean, but personally, no one would blame him if he would have done that because of the age factor and how devastating that injury was. And then, like you said, real quick.
Yes,
I've never seen an athlete's injury get mocked the way he does. Right. Like Tom Brady got hurt in 2008 in week 1. I'm pretty sure nobody mocked his injury. I mean, maybe Jet fans who hated Brady or something like that, or Dolphin fans or Bills fans.
But no, I get you though. It wasn't to the same level. I get you though. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles and he doesn't get mocked. You know what I mean? So, and people don't have the same concerns for Kirk Cousins with Rodgers because Kirk Cousins' injury was on his plant leg and it happened mid-year. Rodgers is on his non-plant leg and it happened week 1. So if you're going to have the same concern, and I know Kirk is a few years younger, but it's not like they're that far apart. If you're going to have the same concerns with Rodgers with his injury, you have to have the same concerns for Kirk Cousins. Just keep it consistent.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, B-Mac, thanks for the call, brother. Appreciate it. Thanks, pal.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time. The snooze button, I guess, does or doesn't work. I'm not sure. Let's go back to the phone lines. We've got Easy Edward joining us here on the show. What's up, Easy?
Morning, Paul. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Fired up.
Well, going back on what he was just saying about Rodgers, this might be the best, most talented team that Aaron Rodgers has ever had.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that could happen to his legacy is he could hurt it, which is a sad thing because he's an amazing quarterback. I mean, if you look, we've been rated to have like the number 1 defense. They're saying that Breece Hall's the second best running back in the league. If you want to go by those statistics, because everything's, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has them and they all stink. So, but I mean, the odds are if this many people are saying that they think Breece Hall is the second guy to McCaffrey, that's pretty damn good company to be in. Our defense is pretty damn good. Our O-line now, although seasoned and experienced with a couple little injury issues here, I think the reason so many people got hurt were because they had to overdo. They had to be the guy that anchored the line. Nobody has to anchor this line now. They're kind of steady across the board now. I mean, what's his name? Our center. He's got a year under his Tippett. He's got a year. Yeah. He's got a year under his belt. Everybody there has played now. It's not a mystery anymore.
Right.
And like you were saying, the only weak link, everyone's been saying, the only weak link on the team is safety. And if that's the only weak link on the team, I'll take it every day of the week.
Damn straight. And I even think that even if that is the weakest, which people would say, Chuck Clark, I like the upside, the dart throw chance, because he was really good before the injury. And if that's your weakest and he ends up being good and then Tony showed flashes, okay, I think we're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, even if we're a B+ safety room, or a B- or a C+ safety room with A+ corners, A+ or A, I'd rate them as an A in our linebackers, and an A+ defensive line. Come on, there's no issues there. There's no issues there. The other thing is, I cannot stand all these damn trolls trying to make up stories for clickbait. I think I commented on one of these things. I said, I basically called him a clickbait jackass because he's trying to create a story. There is no story. Aaron Rodgers had this thing planned. The words say that it was Egypt. It might have been one of those epic overseas once in a lifetime. Well, maybe not for a millionaire, but it might have been like kind of a once in a lifetime thing. Maybe it was a friend's wedding or something. He's got friends all over the world, and he wasn't going to miss it. And he was like, look, he told staff, they knew about it. They said, we're going to have to fine you, but you don't have a problem with you going. His teammates don't have a problem. Nobody on the team has a problem with him taking those 2 fucking days off. I mean,
Except
he was there.
Random people writing about it, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's just trolls and clickbait. That's all it is. There is no issue with the Jets right now. The only issue is with the Jets is the people who are trying to make up a story because there's no story right now.
Yeah, fair enough. And again, 2 weeks from report day, we are today. So hopefully we get.
Oh wow! I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, 100%. 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, they show up, and the next day they start practice. So the first practice is 2 weeks from tomorrow.
I wish they would do what they did under Rex and have a couple of practices at Hofstra for the Long Island fans.
Amazing. There was some flirtation.
I went to that.
Rich said it. Yeah, there were not Hofstra necessarily, but Rich flirted. It was last offseason, not this one, about they were thinking about going back to Cortland, which was a lot of fun. I went to a lot of those, but either way, I like the camaraderie and things, what happens when you do those kind of visits. It's only good.
Yeah, I went to that Jets Fest when they had it at Hofstra, and I think I was there. Herm Edwards was the coach, and the other guy from Green Bay was our quarterback at the time, Favre. So I got to see Favre practice. But it was fun. I mean, they had bouncy houses for the kids. They had field goals set up so people could practice kicking field goals. I took 3 shots. I missed one of them. So that's pretty good. Yeah, 66% for a novice with sneakers on. I'll take it.
Yeah, there you go. That's something to be prideful of. I love that.
But they had the one thing that pissed me off. I'm going to tell this little personal story. Sure. They had these guys out there trying to do these trivia questions, and I was banging them. And I said, I'll do it as long as you don't ask about Brett Favre. He just got here. I don't know a goddamn thing about Brett Favre. I said, fair? They said, fair. They were asking me questions. They were asking me about the sack exchange. What were their numbers? What college did Joe Klecko go to? I said, Temple. I mean, I was banging them. Area. Nice. And then and I was one question away from getting the grand prize. And you know what these fucks did?
What?
They asked me what college Brett Favre went to. And I said, I told you, I don't know anything about Brett Favre. Don't ask me. This is trivia. That's Brett Favre trivia. You're asking me Jets trivia. And they wouldn't give me the prize.
And what is that? That's not Mississippi State. He went to like a community college, right?
Well, he went to Mississippi. He went to school, and they asked me where he went to school or something, or where he was from or something like that. And I didn't realize he was from Mississippi.
Yeah, it's the University of Southern Mississippi. I knew it wasn't straight up Mississippi. It's Southern Miss is where he went. But if they would have just said where he was born, I would have gotten the Mississippi, but Southern Miss. Yes, that's
I wouldn't have even gotten that. I told him, as long as you don't ask anything about Brett Favre, I don't know anything about him. If you ask me a Brett Favre question, I'm going to get it wrong. So don't ask me about Brett Favre. And these pricks did it. The last question. Well,
true.
That's them. That was their being assholes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. 100%.
But I remember I was blowing them away. I told them about the sack exchange. I told them every player, their numbers, what colleges they went to. They asked me where where Mark Gastineau came from, and I said, well, he came from this like little tiny obscure college. I knew it back then. I don't remember it now. Trying to remember, it was like West Illinois or some bullshit school.
Yeah, let's see. I'll have it right here. It was. I should know this. Let's see. We've got it right here. 1 second. His college was, well, he went to 3 different colleges, but the most recent one was East Central was the last one, the most recent one that he went to. But he was Eastern Arizona, Arizona State, then East Central. Yeah, there you go.
East Central what? Illinois?
Just East Central. Yeah, where is it? The East Central Tigers are blah, 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 blah. East Central, yeah, in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. That was in Oklahoma, right?
Yeah. Division 2 school. There you go.
Yeah, and I think, did Marty Lyons go to Penn State?
Let me see. That one I don't remember off the top.
Trying to remember.
No, he was an Alabama guy. I should have remembered that. Obviously.
Oh shit, that's right.
Of course, he was an Alabama guy. And I just saw him. He just got inducted to the Senior Bowl. And I saw his Alabama helmet he was holding. I'm an idiot. Yes, I should have done that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I remembered all this shit back then.
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking back when Brett Favre was quarterback, and I'm 63 now. I have senior moments.
That's all right. Well, we appreciate the call, Easty. You're one of the best, baby.
Thank you, Paulie. How's the girlfriend and kids?
Oh, they're doing awesome and good. Only a couple months away. From baby number 2. So can't wait, man. It's gonna be fun.
It's a girl.
Boy. I already have a girl. She's 2.5, and then I'll have my boy in November.
You should name him Jet.
There you go. It's so funny you just said that. My son's name will be Paul Andrew Esden III, but my fiance told me this in bed last night, which I didn't think I was going to be bringing on the show. Hey-o, but no. She just told me this last night, so it's so freaky that you just said that. She wants to nickname him Jet because I'm only a Jets fan because my grandpa, and the nickname he gave me was Jet. So now it's all going to come full circle. That's a nickname she wants to give him instead of saying Paul in the house and a million Pauls answer.
Let me ask
his
you
nickname
something.
Will be Jet. What's that?
Did I just blow your mind with that?
You did. I'm telling you, the fact that you just said that and she just said that last night is wild.
You have to listen to this, okay?
Okay.
This is quick because people don't believe me when I tell us. On like 4-5 separate occasions, I have done shit like this. Like when we went to the Sterling Forest to New York Renaissance Fair.
Sure. Yeah.
We're talking about, we're having breakfast beforehand with some friends, and I mentioned the word ishkabibble. And then when we get to the gates, they have the sheriff in Nottingham. He's going to go open up the gates, and the password's ishkabibble. And my friends looked at me like I was Satan. Another time, I was at a bar with some friends of mine, and there were these other guys that we didn't know, but they were sitting up at the bar, and they were talking about names for their bands. And I just blurted out this fucked up shit because I had just seen The Wizard of Oz the night before, and I said, "How about Auntie M?" But not like AUINTE. I said anti, like against.
Yes, right.
ANTI-M. Guy fucking drops his beer, pulls a piece of paper out of his pocket. On that piece of paper with 3 names that they were coming up with for the bands, and Annie M was one of them, spelt exactly how I said it.
That's wild. Again,
so
you just doing that blew my mind.
Because this shit happens to me all the time.
Wow, you're a superhero, man. I'm going to have to tell my fiance that after the show, and she's going to lose her crap.
Superhero, okay?
Okay, yeah.
If I was a superhero, the Jets would have like 15, I almost said Stanley Cup. Shit, Super Bowl trophies.
Yeah, that would be great. But yeah,
that's funny.
I love it. Well, thanks, EC, for the call, brother. I appreciate you, man. We got to get one more in before I head to the radio station. That's Darren, who's been very patient on the phone lines. We're blasted through people. Darren, join us on the show. New member of the Boy Green Coffee Club. What's up, brother? You're on mute. I'm not sure what's happening there, Darren. I can't hear you. Let me see. Maybe I see you have another thing in here. Let me kick you out real quick and bring you back in. Go ahead, Darren. Try again.
Well,
there you are. I can hear you now, Darren. Yep.
Okay. No, I was just wanted to thank you. I love every 7:30 in the morning. You're always on, so you're my favorite content creator now. But I just want to call in and thank Tio for gifting me a membership. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
It's the off season, so usually I just kind of spam the chat, but whatever. There's nothing really to talk about, so we have to make stuff up to talk about. So
that's true.
Whatever.
Yeah, it is true.
We don't have any real football for 2 more weeks? 2 weeks from today?
2 weeks from today, as they all show up, which normally has weird storylines and all kinds of other stuff, and then the first practice is 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Right. So what do you think? Is
Right,
Reddick
right
going to
on
be
top
there?
of it.
Do you think Reddick's going to be there?
Say that one more time.
Do you think Reddick's going to be there?
Oh yeah. I think Reddick's going to be there again. Worst case, the worst thing I think could happen from a Jet fan perspective is he shows up and he holds in, like I said, a fake hammy, so he doesn't have to go out there, so he doesn't get fined the hell out of it. If he doesn't show up, that will shock me. I'd be like, wow, okay, so he's going to eat these fines. And again, those fines are irrevocable. Like, after they fine him, they can't just give him the money back later. I mean, you could, via extension, I guess, in a weird way, kind of give him some of the money back. But boy, that's where things get really spicy. But I do think he shows up. I do.
Yeah, well, hopefully he does. Whatever.
All right.
He ain't going to make any money
either way,
if he doesn't, so, just find the hell out of him. So, you know
100%.
what? We hold all the cards. Let him be a
Yes.
bitch right now if he wants to be a bitch.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, buddy. Just want to thank Tio and thank you for providing the content in the morning, brother.
Yeah, damn straight. We'll be back on tomorrow. Darren, thank you so much for the call and calling in. Shout out to T.O., Clancy, and everybody that, I'll give like a Hunger Games thing here one more time. Or one more time. Thank you guys for the kindness and everything on the memberships. That's so cool. Again, paint the chat green, spread the love, pay it forward, all that stuff. It's phenomenal. And Jared B asked Paul, who's starting at center? It's Kevin Mawai. He's a Pro Football Hall of Famer. I love Mangold, and I've had Mangold on my show, not Mawai on my show, but my starter is Kevin Mawai. But hey, that's not a bad constellation for Nick Mangold. For Jared B asking that quick question on YouTube. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I got to run to the radio station and I got to grab all this gear because we got to do this show again at 3:00. So I got to bring all this gear with me. I can't just run out of town. So I got to pack all this up. But thanks everybody for joining us. Thank you to all the new members of the Boy Green Coffee Club, the 500 people in the room right now. Make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. That's a free way to contribute to every friggin' show. If you like what I do, hell, even if you hate what I do, you guys can like the video and hit subscribe. But if you want to go to the next level and join this elite fraternity that's growing every day, the Boy Green Coffee Club, feel free to do it. You can do it either while you're watching live or after the fact. That is the Boy Green Coffee Club. Hit the join membership button on the front, or the little money sign will also bring you there as well. God bless. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you back later today at 3:00 live for another show with James Woody. Thanks everybody. God bless. We'll see.